nighttime mist. I climb through the window and down to the street. I'm shining like a new dime. The downtown trains are full of all them Brooklyn girls. They try so hard to break out of their little world. You wave your hand and they scatter like crows. They have nothing that'll ever capture your heart. They're just thorns without the rose. Be careful out in the dark. Oh, if I was the one you chose to be your only one. Oh, baby, can't you hear me now? Can't you hear me now? Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? Every night is just the same on a downtown train. I know your window and I know it's late. I know your stairs and your doorway. I'll walk down your street and past your gate. I stand by the light of the four-way. Watch them as they fall. Oh, baby, they are having their heart attacks. They stay at the carnival, but they'll never win you back. Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? Every night is just the same. You leave me lonely. Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? All my dreams fall like rain on a downtown train. Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? Every night is just the same. Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? All my dreams fall like rain on a downtown train. On a downtown train. All my dreams fall like rain on a downtown train.
Downtown Train by Rod Stewart. Actually, it's a Tom Waits cover. Most people probably know. I love that song. Tom Waits' version is just as good, just much different. And I believe Trevor Horn produced that, which is really cool. I've got notes here. A lot of, because it's a long story, and I didn't want to lose my way. Rod Stewart, we saw him a couple years ago, and we're going to go see him later this summer. He was great. He was awesome. Alright, so what's going on? So I've been selling off some of my basses over the last year or so, and putting some money back in the bank. And I was thinking about having Joe Cruz from MBJ Guitars build me another bass, but a 5-string. And we started having some discussions about it. I had actually played a 36-inch scale Carl Thompson bass that he had in his shop, and it felt really good, and the B string sounded amazing. But I've only have one 5-string, this MusicMan, and it's okay, but I've always kind of struggled to get a sound I was satisfied with out of it, and I don't like to spend that much time, playing around with knobs and stuff. So I broke the 5-string out to do this song. I did that Big Time, that Peter Gabriel song, and Lady in Red. And while I was working on those songs, I realized that I really don't enjoy playing the 5-string that much. So what would be the point of having Joe build me one? So I think he's going to build me something else. So I do really like this bass, just not crazy about how it sounded. It sounded like it had that MusicMan tone. And don't get me wrong, it's a great bass. I used one of these when I was playing, out in bands for many years. And it works really well. You can play any type of music with it, and it blends in really nicely. But for what I'm doing now, I like something that kind of cuts through a little more. And this bass really just blends in nicely, which 99% of the time that's what you want, but it's not now. So alright, so I was thinking, well, I really love this bass. I like the way it plays. The B string is nice. It's got a nice not too floppy. It's got good definition. Hold on, I'm getting lost. So instead of getting another bass, was there something I could do to improve the sound? So I got me thinking. I had gotten this Westbury bass a while back, and I love this. And I'm like, it's got a single precision pickup pushed back toward the bridge a little bit. Probably in a similar position, maybe not quite as far back as the MusicMan, but the P-bass pickup pushed back toward the bridge, and really love the way it sounds. Is there a way I could put a and it's I'm getting ahead of myself. Is there any way I could get a precision style pickup in this bass, and alright, and also put it in the reverse position, where the bass side is closer to the bridge and the treble side of the pickup is closer to the neck. So, is that what I did? So I knew that EMG offers a precision style pickup in a soap bar housing. I've got a couple. Actually, the bass Joe's building for me is going to have those in it. So what I was wondering is if EMG would possibly put one of their precision style pickups in a MusicMan housing, and but with Alnico magnets. Usually they're I stumbled across Alnico magnets by mistake, and I found I really prefer those to ceramic or steel magnets. I think there's a different quality in the top end that I like, that I prefer. So I called up EMG and spoke to a woman there, Allison, and told her what my idea was, and she didn't blow me off. She followed up with a bunch of great questions and said it sounded like it was possible, but she'd need to speak with the the engineers and technicians, and that she'd get back to me. And it was just a really great conversation. She was very nice, extremely professional, and left a great impression on me. So she got back to me via email and said it was a go. I added some other things to the order, and she sent me an invoice. I paid for it. When I looked at the email, her full name was Allison Turner. Now there were some delays in getting the pickup done, but she kept me informed every step of the way, and our email thread was very long. Now EMG is a big company, and they've been around for a long time. They make pickups for Geezer Butler and Metallica and Les Claypool. And but here they were going out of their way for some, the Joey bag of donuts off the street, and making a kind of a one-of-a-kind pickup. Maybe it wasn't a big deal for them, but the fact that they, do it, I thought it was really cool. And so I was just so impressed by the level of customer service. I said, I'd really like to put a face to that name. Sweetwater, sometimes you can, you look up your sales guy, they have his picture there. So I Googled her name, and she's actually the vice president of sales for the company, and she is Rick Turner, who's the owner of EMG. He's Rick Turner's daughter, and she's also the vice president of sales. So, that makes it even more amazing. So again, it says a lot about the company if they were willing to go through those lengths for, just some guy off the street. Joe did the work on the bass, and I added an EMG BTC circuit to it, which is the bass treble control. So it's got bass on the bottom and a treble on the top. Was it exactly what I was looking for? No, but it is better. It still has some of the characteristics that I was looking to change. It still blends in very well. I don't know how this video came out. I'll find out when we're done. But it still, still blends in a little more than I'd like it. And I like a certain quality of high end. I like a little more sizzle and crackle, if that makes any sense. And I like a bit of crunch on the top of the note when I pluck the string. And I'm usually not a big modification guy. My experience is that usually I'm really satisfied with a modification less than half of the time. But once in a while you hit a home run, so you never know. So I'll take a chance every now and then. And when you're trying to get an instrument to sound very much differently from the way it wants to sound, that makes things even harder. I'm not going to give up on this one yet. I may take the circuit out and put a passive tone in and see if that does anything. I got a pickguard from Chandler. It's a pickguard Planet, I think they're called. I bought stuff from them before. They're great because they've got, some places want you to send them a template, a tracing of the, pardon me, of the pickguard. They've got templates for everything and a bunch of obscure stuff. They did one for me for a guild a few years back, an Ovation bass. They get all the weird stuff. So, there was a tortoiseshell guard on here before. I said, well, I've had that. I don't really care for white, so I googled red basses and looked and saw a few old Fenders with was gold. So I tried it. It doesn't look too bad. So what? Let me just show you what was done to the bass here. So here's the bass. It's a boosting cut with them set flat. Let me turn the mic off. I need to learn to noodle better. Sounds a little boxy, but I found if I boosted the bass up a little bit, like a third of the way, it warmed it up a little bit, which is something warming the sound of my bass up is something I never usually do. So let me explain quickly what this what this pickup is, it's basically a precision pickup. So it's got a magnet here that covers these 3 strings, and then a magnet up here which covers the D and the G string, and that's what typically you'd call that a reverse P position. On a regular P position, this magnet is up here, and this magnet, but so that's what the pickup looks like under there. Where was I going? So warms it up a little. Then I found if I added a little top end to it, about 1/3 of the way, and then just a hair more, it would kind of give me that, what did I call it before? Kind of that little... So it sounds cool. I'm still gonna work on it a little bit. One thing that's cool about the circuit is it has 2 mini switches in it. So there's 4 different frequency centers you can set for the high end. Originally I had it set to the one I thought would sound best, which is more of a high mid and upper mid range, as opposed to like real sparkly highs. But that I didn't really care for that, so I played around and found another setting that I liked better. Another great thing about this system is that I can boost them both of them are cranked, and my signal is just barely going into the red, so it's very usable. I've played some other basses with active electronics, like with a Spectre I had that had Aguilar preamps in it, and those, if you just touch them a little bit, it just sent my signal through the roof, so I'd have to back the gain down. This I can totally boost it, and it's still very usable. Alright, I think that's about it. It's another abrupt ending. I had a cold this week. Was miserable all week.